Randy Peterson is a patient man. I keep annoying him, asking him to come on. He covers Iowa State and has for decades. He's the best at what he does. And for the Moines-Register, joins us on 365 Sports. But, Randy, tell everybody this is it. No more segments with us. You're done.
I'm done with you guys. I'm absolutely done with you guys. I love being on with you guys. I really do, because I can have fun with it. It's not all buttoned down and any of that stuff. But I'm retiring this week at the end of the week after 52 years at the Register. So
52. Wow.
Yeah. So I've been blessed, man. I'll tell you, in this day and age of newspapers, trying to redefine themselves multiple times a day, layoffs and everything throughout the whole journalism business, the media. I've been blessed. So, I'm just gonna ride off into the sunset.
So, where will you be the first time Iowa State football plays next fall?
Hopefully, tailgating somewhere.
There you go.
I've never tailgated. I mean, really, I haven't. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know. I'm assuming I'll be tailgating somewhere. Probably.
Good for you.
In Ames. Probably in Ames. Maybe Iowa State. I don't know. I'm not a. Hey, anybody that's got a ticket and anybody that says, "Hey, come on to my tailgate," dude. My hand's out.
Are you going to have to learn this? Maybe give you instructions on how to actually do that.
I've seen enough of it. I think I can handle it. I've practiced bits and pieces of it for a long time. During the 52 years, I've practiced bits and pieces of it. I've got figured out what beer to drink and what to eat. It's just a matter of not walking past the tailgates with my laptop and people saying, "Hey, come on and have a beer with us." And I say, if you're out here 4 hours after the game, after I get done writing, you betcha I will. And
there you go.
There's nobody out there.
Randy, it's all good. Randy, congratulations on all that, and certainly a very long career to be proud of. Certainly, we appreciate your time, but let's dive into Iowa State here. First things first, I guess top of mind is how's everybody reacting to that game in Ireland? Farmageddon going overseas, and it doesn't ruin Iowa State having a home game. It does for Kansas State, but what's kind of been the opinion on that the last few days?
Yeah, it's interesting. I've talked to some Iowa State fans, and 2 years out, 2 years away, they're excited. When it comes time to actually figure it out and figure their financial commitment to get over there, they may change. But they're excited about it, and I know the Iowa State players are as well. I saw a video of their response when Campbell announced to them earlier this week, or I guess it had been last week, that they in fact were going to go over there and play K-State. So it's going to be interesting to see how many Iowa State fans actually go over. But as of right now, it sounds like every Iowa State fan around is going. I mean, obviously that'll change, but Iowa State is very loyal. Their fans are very loyal. They travel. What's that cliche? They travel well. Iowa State travels well. So, and they, you guys have seen Iowa State fans when they play on the road.
Oh yeah,
they're everywhere. So, it'll be interesting to see. But I guarantee you, I will not be going to that game. I promise.
Is that what sent you into retirement? You didn't want to go to Dublin?
No. But it was interesting. My daughters, who've been so much a part of this whole journey with me, they said, "Look, Iowa State waits till you're retiring to go overseas and play." And I, whatever. That's not how it worked out. But it just worked out, and good for Iowa State. I mean, and they're not missing a home game out of it. Get this, it's K-State's home game. So last season Iowa State played at K-State in a blizzard and smoked them, beat them badly in a blizzard, a snow blizzard. I mean, it was ridiculous. You couldn't even see the field from the press box. And then this year they're playing at Ames, and then next year when they go back, when it's supposed to go back to Kansas State in 2025, they're playing in Dublin. So they go from a blizzard, a snow game, ankle deep snow, in 1 year, and then 2 years later in Dublin. So, it's interesting how that plays out. But good for both teams. I mean, I know Chris Kleiman, the K-State coach, is in Iowa, and I wrote about him when he was just a kid playing high school football. So, I mean, good for both programs, good for both fan bases. Spread the word, college football, spread the word about college football, internationally as much as you can. And it's all good as long as you're not missing a home game out of it, which Iowa State's not.
Randy, they obviously, the year of 2022, it was a kind of this one of those years, and the Big 12 has like 3 or 4 teams one year that win the close games, and next year they don't. We've seen that with TCU last year, Baylor the year before that. But they did take a step back, but they were very young. What else did Matt Campbell do to get everything back on track last year for the Cyclones, knowing that they are still not happy with 7-6, but they got to a bowl game, and they were in the postseason with that? What did he do differently?
Well, not first of all, but among the things they did, he did over the last 2 seasons. He's done a big overhaul on his staff, primarily the offensive staff. I mean, essentially 90% of the changes were with the offensive staff, because you're not going to mess around with that defensive staff and with John Haycock. I mean, unless you've got guys going on to improve themselves other places. So it's been mostly offense. It's been the offensive staff, and it's been the offensive line coach, Iowa State's offensive line, up until a year and a half ago, midway through the 2022, I could see it's starting to improve a little bit. But nonetheless, before last season, they got a new offensive line coach, and the offensive line improved significantly. I mean, very, very much it improved. And so he's back this year with an offensive line. Everybody's back, and they've got 95 to 100, whatever it is, starts combined, that offensive line. So he's changed offensive line coaches. He's changed running back coaches. He's changed quarterback coaches. By the way, he's changed offensive coordinators twice in the last 2 years. He got rid of Tom Manning, who was, he was been with Matt Campbell since before Matt Campbell even came to Ames. Manning, Iowa State's offense was just very stale, and so they parted ways. And then he promoted Nate Scheelhaus to offensive coordinator for last season, and Scheelhaus is now in the NFL, and good for Nate. Good for Nate. He wants to be a head coach, and he wants to get as much of a varied background as he can. And so he's got another offensive line coach, Taylor Mauser, who's been with Matt before Matt came to Iowa State, in various roles. So it's interesting that Rocco Beck, the quarterback, a very good quarterback, has had 3 offensive coordinators, and this will be his 3rd in 3 years. His freshman season, his redshirt freshman season, and now his sophomore season. And his dad's a coach, and Rocco's dad's a coach for one of those teams in the XFL. So anyway, so those are the most significant changes they've made. They've changed staff. They've got they really didn't get transfer portal guys. I can't think of any transfer portal guys that's made a huge difference. But it's just the players were so young 2 years ago. I mean, it was the youngest team Iowa State has had since I can ever remember. And I went back and looked over the last 25 years or so, and just at the starting lineups. And Iowa State had never, in 25 years, had never put out a team as young as it was 2 seasons ago. So it's the maturing of the team. And dudes, this team is still young. I mean, they've got 20, whatever it is, 20 of 22 starters back, whatever that is, something like that. But a lot of those guys are still juniors or younger. So this future is very bright for Iowa State football right now.
Randy, this is a team that has never really done well under Matt Campbell when the expectations are high. It's when everybody kind of sells them short. How does he bridge that gap of, that they came off the Big 12, title game one year and then dipped, and then people had said, well, this gambling scandal is going to cook them, and it didn't. And then now people are expecting, well, they'll probably be pretty good because, like you said, they've got all these returning starters, especially on offense. But how do they continue to sneak up on people or reach their full potential in a year?
You're exactly right. They're on the expectation part. When they're not expected to do well, they do well, and when they are expected to do well, they don't do as well. They went 7-6 with with 4 draft choices, including Brock Purdy 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. So that team underperformed. But so in this year, what Campbell did was he made spring ball as tough as he could. I mean, he toughened it up. Because he's got veteran players now. He toughened it up. They worked. He made what they were doing in the weight room. They made that tougher. Instead of just doing jumping jacks and push-ups during spring ball, they actually did live scrimmages 4 or 5 times with officials. So they really amped up the spring ball, and I expect it to be the same way throughout the summer workouts. I am assuming their summer workouts will be tougher than what they've had, and certainly the fall workouts will be probably about the same as they've been. So that's the main thing he's done, is to amp up the workout schedule, and knowing that the expectations are high, and realizing that they're high because he's got a veteran team that can handle this. So that's what they've done, and he's embracing this expectation thing, and so's Rocco Becht, and so's Abu Sama, running back, and the receivers that could be among the best receivers in receiving as a position in the Big 12. They're all embracing it. They want people to have expectations of them. They know it, and they're not shying away from it. And that's a good thing.
Abu Sama, you brought him up, and somebody in the chat asked about this. I was going to ask. He had 276 in the snow and went nuts against K-State. Nuts. He had 110 against BYU on the road. But other than that, there's a couple of games, 50 now, but he had 12 carries, 4 yards, 7 carries, 11 yards. Of course, that was against that UT defense with those big tackles inside. 8 carries, 7 yards, 3 carries, -5. Was he hit and miss or just he didn't get a lot of carries till the end when he ran through K-State, and of course they didn't win the game against Memphis in the bowl game?
The running back room was in a bit of, I don't want to say a bit of chaos last year, but it was in a bit of flux. 2 of the running backs quit midway through the season, for example, and they were getting touches, they were getting carries. They had 4 or 5 backs last year that were sharing carries, and I didn't see how that was going to work from the start, because there's not enough footballs to go around, and when you guys know this, when you're 18 to 22 years old, and you've got your eyes set on going to the NFL, and you've got your eyes set on making as much money as you can in the corporate world with the name, image, and likeness stuff. You need to play, and these guys weren't playing consistently. So that had something to do with Sama. I'll go to bat for Sama forever. I've known the kid for a while. My daughter taught him in high school. He's a good kid. He's from a good family. So, but it was just a matter of getting reps, getting touches. And let's face it, there were times last year when that offensive line was absolutely horrendous. I don't have the stats in front of me, but the game at Ohio University, that was Iowa State got beat by, what was it, 10-7 or something like that, by Ohio University team that wasn't great. Right then and there, they decided right there they're going to change this offense around. They're instead of running the ball constantly, trying to run the ball when it's not there, when the rush isn't there, they decided, okay, we've got Rocco Beck, we've got outstanding receivers. Let's throw the ball. Let's throw the ball around and see if that opens up passing game, opening up the running game, and it did. So yeah, I mean, Sama was I'll say you're right. He was hit and miss, but he's had a wonderful spring. From what we've heard, we don't get to watch all the spring practices, but he's had a great spring. So I'm looking for big things, and plus they've got maybe 3 running backs this year, and they all the running backs know their roles. They know that Sama's going to be the starter. They know, and Campbell called Sama at some point during the spring an all down back. So I said to Campbell, I thought I knew what that meant. I said, what's that mean? And he's, because there's an every down back and an all down back. And Campbell said to him, an all down back is somebody you do not have to take out when you need a running back to sit back and block, or he's somebody you do not have to take out when you want to go into the passing game. Sama can do everything. He can go in, he can catch the ball, he can block, and he also can run the ball. Reminds me a lot of Brees, in that respect. So I'm looking for big things because he's going to get more reps than he had last year, and that running back room is not in a state of flux like it was last season.
Well, they had Montgomery, they had Brees Hall. Both of them were fantastic, and maybe he's the next in line. So with all of the things going on in college athletics, Randy, and again, appreciate your time today, and great career, 52 years, and enjoy everything. I know you will after this week. But with all of the changes in college football, how much of that does that resonate with Jamie Pollard, Iowa State University, the athletic department? Because we've discussed that what the SEC and the Big Ten are doing, what they even might want to do. There's the possibility of a lawsuit that's going to hit everybody for 15 or 20 million. But Iowa State's not doing all this to go be left behind. So they're all in, correct?
Iowa State is all in as much as they can be. Absolutely, they are. I mean, the coaches and athletic administration, starting with Jamie, they're all in on the collective. For example, yeah, they are. I mean, the fans were a little bit slow to start picking up on that. Hey, they're going to have to pay. They're going to have to pay ante up some money here to keep some of these athletes. So Iowa State was the fans were a little bit slow into doing that initially, but they've made up for it. But yeah, Iowa State is all in, and it's not just football. I mean, look at TJ Otzelberger. Men's basketball is going to be a top 5 team. They're going to be a top 5 team. Iowa State women's basketball with 5 starters coming back from last season. I mean, Iowa State women's basketball was in the shadows last year, and rightly so, of Caitlin Clark, right here in our state. But Iowa State women's basketball, they're going to be a top 25 team to start out, if not even higher. So there's a lot of good things going on at Iowa State right now. So yeah, Iowa State athletic department is all in with everything else, all in as much as they can be. So the future in a lot of sports looks really good at Iowa State.
All right. I know CY Town is about to be launched in about a year. That's what I expect you to see between Hilton and also Jack Trice Stadium. Randy?
Cy-Town.
What did I say?
CY.
Cy-Town.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. I was
Cy-Town.
Yeah, Cy-Town.
Yeah, they've got stuff going on there now. I mean, they're the parking lot. They've got to resurface all that parking lot area so they can build on that. So I think that's probably pretty much getting done now as far as that part is concerned. And then they just have to build the buildings. Yeah, I would love to be partying in Cy-Town before games. Absolutely.
Thanks for your time. Congratulations on your career. Block my number. I might still text you accidentally and ask you about coming on for a segment, and just send me an emoji that's not very flattering. But we appreciate, Randy, you coming on again one more time today. Again, congratulations. What a great run.
Thanks, guys. Thanks
you.
so much for
Randy,
having me. Bye-bye.
Randy Peterson, Des Moines Register with us, at Randy Pete on Twitter, although he now gets to go off into the sunset. Good for him.
Yeah.